Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update for my project 10 uses. I was inspired to participate in this project by Chic Geek. I am working on 6 products in this project. 3 of them are eyeshadows, as I started doing this instead of pan those eyeshadows, so 2 of them are randomly generated, and then a palette I choose myself. So if you're interested in how I've been doing on my project 10 uses, then just keep on watching. Firstly, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette I chose myself. I chose to work on the Oden's Eye Christmas Eve palette because I wanted some cooler tones and some blues, purples to be working on. As of the last update, I had used this 8 times, and now I've officially used it 2 additional times, meeting my 10 use goal. I've really enjoyed working with this palette. Oden's Eye has one of my very favorite formulas. I have the 10th look on my eyes today using some of the blues and purples and this more light gray kind of shade up here. This is such a joy to work on. I think these Christmassy palettes can span multiple seasons. You don't only have to reach for them in the Christmassy season. So if you have this, the Merry Christmas palette, or one of the newer ones they released as of last year, pull them out and see if you can create some fun looks. A long-term product in this project is my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Date Night. This very true red liquid lipstick. Again, the goal is to use it 10 times, and I knew this was going to take me months and months because red is not the easiest for me to wear. As of the last update, I had used it 4 times, and I've reached for it 2 additional times since then, meaning I'm at 6 out of 10 uses. I still think this is going to be in the project for quite a few more months, but I'm happy to be getting some use on it. Another liquid lipstick in this project that unfortunately I haven't reached for at all since the last update is my Huda Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Trendsetter, which is a very warm, almost orangey leaning liquid lipstick color. As of the last update, I had used it 4 times as well, and again, no usage since then, so I'm still at 4 out of 10 uses. In my last update, I decided to randomly generate a cheek product to work on. I didn't have any real feelings on what product I wanted to roll in, so I just let the random number generator decide, and it chose a shade out of my BH Nude Blush 10 color blush palette. This is in my face palette inventory, and it chose shade 6, which is this one here. So I have to use this very vibrant pinky shade 10 times. I don't know if you will even see how truly vibrant it is on my camera, but it is like nearing a neon-y pink, but it does blend out really nicely. I feel like that is not doing the brightness of this shade justice, but I have used it 3 times since rolling this in, so I have 7 more uses to go. Again, I do have this on my cheeks today. I mixed these 2 colors together actually. The one I'm supposed to be working on is more matte. I like a glowy cheek, so I mixed in this shimmery pink shade beside it, and I really like how my blush is looking today. The last 2 products I have in this project pan are randomly generated eyeshadows, similar to how many people do pan those eyeshadows. However, the goal is not to hit pan on them in this project, it's just to use that specific eyeshadow 10 times. So firstly, from my Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette, the shade Butter Pecan here was drawn in. It is kind of like a burnt peach shade. Let's see if we can swatch it. Very beautiful. As of the last update, I had reached for it 4 times. I've used it 3 additional times, meaning I'm at 7 out of 10 uses, and I have been getting so much use out of this palette as a whole. Every time this is rolled into a project of any kind, I just can't stop reaching for it. I have reached for many of the different colors, even when I'm not using the shade I'm supposed to be using. I just love this palette so much. It adds a lot of fun to my collection. And lastly, I have a shade out of my Sephora Pro Warm palette, and it's the second last shade in the palette. This very deep, rich brown shade. called Cedar. I have used this 2 times since the last update, so 2 out of 10 uses. It is a very, very dark brown. I did try this in my brows one day, and even though it appears quite neutral in a swatch, when it was in my brows, it definitely pulled more warm and was a bit too dark for me as well. My brows are a very cool toned shade, so if there is a brow product that has any sort of warmth to it, I find it's like really obvious that I filled in my brows, if that makes sense. It just doesn't work out the best. So unfortunately, I won't be able to easily knock out the 10 uses with using this in my brows, but a dark brown is very easy to incorporate. The one tricky bit with this eyeshadow I'm finding is, yes, it's a deep brown, but I have deep browns in so many palettes, and this is very big and heavy that it's hard to motivate myself to pull this out for one shade when I have that shade available to me elsewhere, if that makes sense. But I will focus on this and get those 8 additional uses. So those are the updates on my 6 items. I did hit my 10 use goal on the palette I hand selected for myself, so I chose a palette I wanted to roll in, and for that I'm choosing a severely neglected palette in my collection. This is the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette. I have owned this for years and years and years. I think I've used it once or twice. Absolute craziness. It is a neutral, leaning a touch cool toned palette. It would be so easy to incorporate in a variety of looks. I know a lot of my friends have pans showing in theirs, and mine is just super duper neglected. So I am using this opportunity to roll this in and get 10 solid uses on this palette. Now, a use can be creating a full look out of this palette or just reaching for a shade here and there. I will say within those 10 uses, I will have the goal to no pan left behind this, use every single shade at least once. That is what I did with my Christmas Eve palette as well, just kind of a side goal, but 10 uses on this. My goals for the next update will be to use my Ice Cream Dream palette 3 more times. That should be really easy, especially since I just find myself gravitating towards this palette. The only tricky part is going to be I need to reach for that specific shade 3 more times, not just the palette as a whole. So I need to remember, if I'm creating a warm, peachy type of look, I should definitely be reaching into this palette. And then I do not want to let another month go by where I haven't used this Trendsetter liquid lipstick at all. So I will definitely make it a goal to reach for this a handful of times. But that is everything for my update for Project 10 Uses. If you have any suggestions on products I should roll in, definitely let me know. I love this project as more of a shop my stash, rotating things through relatively quickly, but on the other hand, I never quite know what to roll in. Like, it never seems to pop into my head super easily. I need to kind of mull it over a little bit, which sounds so silly because 10 uses is just so easy to knock out if I wasn't such a distracted mess. But if you did enjoy this update, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!